who are those people who are like the special cases? Okay. I'm talking specifically about Sharon, David, Diego, Carlos, Enrique, Natalia, and Ivan. You are the presenters of the last two topics. So, as I was telling you, we're going to do the presentation today as normal. And on Wednesday, we're going to do normal presentation. And we're gonna officially finish the second term. So the rest of the class are going to be evaluated under the presentation plus the workshop. People who I just named are only going to be graded so far, attention to this, so far, considering your performance in the workshop, because your topics are going to be presented at the beginning of the third term, and it was due to some changes. But don't worry. Diana, can you silence your mic, please? Listen, Diana. Thank you.
Yeah, sure, sorry.
But, okay, but I am going to add the grade that you obtain to your grade in the second term once you have finished. So don't worry. For example, if you see that everybody has 4.5 and you have 3.9, guys, don't worry. It's because you haven't done your presentation yet. So once you have done it, your grade will come back to normal. Don't worry. I will explain that again on Wednesday. So that's the first announcement. 2, today we're going to have the presentation by Sylvia's group about the topics I just said. But at 11, I will have to go to a meeting again because people program meetings at horrible times and I have to be there. So again, I'm going to, as you can see, I'm recording not in the computer, but in the cloud. That means that if you finish, and I mean, if I finish the presentation and I come back and you are not here anymore, it's okay because I can just see the whole presentation recorded on the cloud and I'm going to, well, assess based on that. And of course, you are autonomous students, you are big enough and you don't necessarily need me here. If you have a specific question regarding the topic, of course, you can write to me and I will explain to you and I'm going to take some minutes from next class to deepen on that specific concept if it is necessary, okay? So I really appreciate that you help me with this, but these days my schedule is just crazy. And I hope that when you're professionals, you understand that sometimes we have just to run. Okay, guys, so I already allowed you to share your screen, so whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Professor.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Today, Laura, Lisette, and I will be talking about bilingualism, multilingualism, and Prulingualism, which are topics that, well, we have been studying also in different times of our program, but today we will be remembering some things. Let's start by watching a video because the idea is to, from the beginning, have very clear what the difference among all these terms is. So please listen. Let's watch a short video.
Wait, I need to share the screen with the sound. So sorry. Are you guys watching my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Let me know if you can hear the video.
Hello, I am Valentino. My mother says that
Lisette?
I'm telling to my friends how many languages I can speak and which are there. How many languages can you speak?
I can speak 4 languages, English, Italian like you, and also French and Spanish.
Oh my dear, you are a plurilingual person. My school is a community. For this reason, there are too much kids, so there are a lot of languages. But in class, we only speak in English. My mom told me that my school is a multilingual community.
Is the video okay? Is everything okay? I'm gonna
Yes.
put the video again because
Yes.
I guess it had some trouble.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Hello, I am Valentino. My mother says that I'm bilingual because I can speak 2 languages, English and Italian. La mia mamma è da Londra, ma il mio padre è dall'Italia. Hello, Helen. How are you?
Fine, Valentino. What's that?
I'm telling to my friends how many languages I can speak and which are there. How many languages can you speak?
I can speak 4 languages, English, Italian like you, and also French and Spanish.
Oh my dear, you are a plurilingual person. My school is a community. For this reason, there are too much kids, so there are a lot of languages. But in class, we only speak in English. My mom told me that my school is a multilingual community.
Okay, guys, so this was a very short representation with examples of what each of these terms are. Taking into account this, the idea is to match the concepts with the definitions on the right. So let's start reading the first definition on the right that says the coexistence of several languages in a society where not everyone in it necessarily speak all those languages. The second definition is the capacity and competence to learn more than one language, as well as the value of linguistic tolerance within individuals and countries. And the third one is the ability to speak 2 languages proficiently, but not necessarily perfectly. Taking into account your background knowledge and also the examples from the video, how would you match these concepts with the definitions? Okay. Let's match all of them and then we can check. So that means that number 1 would be with concept number 3. Yeah, that's correct. You were totally right, Natalie, and the other person who I couldn't see who was that. That's correct. Basically, the most, well, the easiest one was bilingualism because it involves 2 languages, but number 2 and number 3 are usually confused and used interchangeable in different contexts. But we are going to see what is the difference during this presentation. So let's start first talking about bilingualism. Yeah, I think that was very clear. In this video, we are going to see some situations that can happen to bilingual people. So let's watch it and you tell me if one of those things or some of them or none of them or any other that is not in the video have happened to you.
Okay, guys, be ready to share your experiences, okay? We want to know if you have experienced some of these situations because as we all know, we are bilingual people and we might have done this before. So be ready to share.
It's totally black and blue.
Hey, can I sit here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, thanks.
Jay，哇塞，这个女的好漂亮。
看他喜欢你吧。
真的吗？不可能的，
真的，这么多座位，他决定坐在你对面，他一定喜欢你的。
真的啊，她好像你的天使一样呀。
真的，真的。
我爱你。
再见。
조인성 is so 멋있어.
So what?
You know, he's so 멋있어. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh, I know what that means. Because you just explained it
Yeah.
to me so well.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I made some tea for y'all.
Oh, wow.
Here you go, Maddie.
Wait, how do you say thank you very much in Chinese?
Oh.
你的屁股好大。你的屁股好大。
Yeah.
Okay. Steven, 你的屁股好大。
Hey Dad. Yeah, నేను ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ స్టీవెన్ తోటి ఉన్నా. ఇప్పుడే అయిపోయింది. కానీ చాలా బోరింగ్. వాళ్ళు మా కోసం అని వంట వండినరు కానీ smelled so bad. Just ew. Okay, bye.
So, that was your dad?
Yep.
Cool. Did you say anything about me or?
No.
Cool.
Oh, cool. Gotta go. I'll see you later.
Okay. Bye.
Oh, hi Maddie, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. Oh, have you met my friend Joseph before?
No, I have not.
Joseph.
My name is Maddie. Nice to meet
Joseph,
you.
nice to meet you.
Actually, he's a Korean major.
Oh, really?
You're Korean,
You speak
right?
Korean?
네, 저 작년에 한국에 살았어요.
한국말 진짜 잘 알아요. 몇 년생이에요?
저 93년생.
나도.
진짜?
우리 친구할 수 있겠다.
진짜? 우리 밤에 하자.
야, 얘 놔두고 우리끼리 놀러 갈까?
그럴까? 우리 점심 같이
밥
먹을래?
먹으러 가자.
그래.
張有陣時將個蘋果啫。啊，但係呢個蘋果真係好新鮮同好甜添啊！唔係啊，你唔明白，好似天就你一陣嚟緊，等陣間我先同你講啊。OK。
Hey man, are you okay, dude?
Yeah, I'm fine. What's up?
No, it's okay. You can tell me. Was that your girlfriend? Well, what were you guys arguing about?
We weren't arguing, man. We were just having a conversation about an apple.
Oh, dude, I'm so sorry. When you guys start arguing about Apple, that's when you know the relationship's going downhill. And here, bring it in.
Oh, dude, I don't know you.
Okay, guys, so what about these examples? Have they ever happened to you, these situations? Yes, Michael.
Yeah, hi. So I think that the one most common for me is when you want to say something and you are talking even in Spanish, but you know the word in English, and it's like, what the fuck? But the other one is like just recently with Silvia, I mean with you, we were just talking in Spanish, and then somebody came and it was like, okay, let's do it in English, so this person doesn't understand.
Yes, exactly. That we like to do that at work, but you don't do it. I mean, I do it, but you don't do it because we don't want students to listen our conversations. That's very common. And
That
sometimes
also
in my
happened to
case,
me.
uh-huh,
Yeah, you go.
that I forgot.
Oh, okay. So that happened to me before, like the first situation in which the two people speak in the other language, in their native language or something, to say something about somebody that's near. And I remember that I was in a bus with my sister, and a random guy, but he was a very handsome guy, came in and he sat next to us. And I was chatting with my sister about him and how fine he looked. And then when he was about to get out of the bus, he looked at us and he said, "Thank you so much. I appreciate it." So I felt very embarrassed.
Oh, he could understand what you were saying about him.
Yeah.
What else? Have you experienced any other situation different from the video? Okay, I think your mic doesn't work, Ivan. It's not working. No, we can't listen to you.
Well, I just want to say something. Well, sometimes it happens, especially with people that are not into languages and all that stuff, that they think that we use words from English or from other languages because we are kind of broken or because we won't like to kind of showing off. But of course, it's not that. It's just because for me, what happens all the time is that there are specific words that have like a specific meaning that just makes sense in that language. So sometimes it's difficult to translate, especially you are talking with friends that are not bilingual. So that happens sometimes.
Yes, that's another situation that's very common. Thank you, Juan David. So I think we can continue if there are no more opinions. Lisette, please. Starting with bilingualism, we have 4 different definitions from each other. And I found that very interesting, taking into account also the time where they were taken from, well, from the place and the time they were taken. The first one is that bilingualism is the native-like control of 2 languages. Here we can see some kind of ambiguity. Yeah, it's that the term. Because so far we can say that that wouldn't be the definition of it. What do you think of that? The native-like control of 2 languages. I don't know who has, okay, Natalia. Can you please close your microphone? Natalia Navarro. Okay, Karen.
Yes, I don't think it's really up to now this definition, because obviously this is connected with the belief that you're only good at one language if you can speak like a native. So now we know that it is not true.
Exactly. Especially in this subject, we have learned so much about this. Thank you. So then we have anyone who possesses a minimal competence in only one of the four languages skills in a language other than his mother tongue. In here, basically, what it says is that if you're learning, or even you're not learning, but you somehow have some input about another language only in one skill, you are immediately called a bilingual person. Then we have the ability to meet the communicative demands of the self and the society in their normal functioning in two or more languages in their interaction with the other speakers of any or all of these languages. So basically, that is to accomplish or to follow or to be guided by the communicative competence, not about knowing about the language, about one skill, etc., for yourself, but to be able to communicate with others in another language than your mother tongue. And finally, the last definition that refers to an individual who uses two or more languages or dialect in his or her everyday life, regardless of the context of use. So with this, we can see that this term, as all things in the world, have changed over time, basically because, and mostly because we are talking about languages. So we have known how society can influence this over time and change the mind of many people. So, Lisette, can you move on? Thank you. When we talk about bilingualism, we talk about three different types of them. We have compound, we have compound, coordinate, and subordinate. To illustrate this, I'd like to show you some examples, and then we will explain the definition. The first one, for a compound bilingualism, is when a child is raised by bilingual parents and both languages are used at home. In this case, we find two languages in one environment, and both are learned at the same time. Then we have the coordinate bilingualism. For example, when a student who speaks one language at home, acquired via his parents, and then learns a second language at school. In here we have two different contexts. The student or the child or the person doesn't learn the language from the same context as in compound, that is via the parents. But in this case, there are two places of origin or two different contexts. One is home and the other one is school. So we can say that there are two different contexts, but both are equally important. And finally, we have the subordinate bilingualism. In this case, we have this example. Mexicans living in the USA that have Mexican native grandparents, English will be their native language, and Spanish their inherited language. So in here, although their native language is Spanish, they have to use the English language because they are surrounded by a English context, let's say like that. So we have a dominant language that expresses the other language. So now we can show the definitions that are next. So we have the compound, that is where individuals learn the languages in the same environment and context, and they are often used concurrently or even interchangeably. Then we have the coordinate, where individuals learn the languages separately in separate environments and maintains this separation after mastering both. And finally, the subordinate were individuals who have learned a second language and cannot understand it without the help of their first language. So on the right, we have like the different, no, come back, thank you. Like the different options we have. I don't know if you can interpret the picture and which one would be for, like what polygon is that the name is for each type of bilingualism. So far, do you have any questions about the types of bilingualism? Is it confusing or is it clear?
It is clear. I was quite confused with subordinate with the first definition, but now with this one is crystal clear.
Clear?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a model that I found on the internet, so I tried to put it on the slides. Now we can continue, Lisette. That refers to how each type of bilingualism, let's say, yeah, can be illustrated. So how would you put each one of them depending on the explanation I've just given? Think about it. You can write it. I think, yeah, you already have the permission to annotate, or you can tell me and my partner will help me with that.
Well, the first one is coordinate. In it?
Coordinate. Okay, let's put it there. And why it is coordinate?
Well, because we develop like two languages in different contexts. I think that the fact that they are separated indicates that.
Exactly. Indicates that they are always separated. Like when you learn, like the example of when you learn via your parents and from a school, they are different contexts, they are separated, but still they are both important.
Exactly.
Yeah, subordinate. Michael, why? You can open your mic and tell us why.
Yes, it wasn't working, sorry. I think that because these lines mean like you need one in order to understand the other.
Exactly. You learn the language, the second language, throughout the other. Like the example of the person that goes to another country and needs to start comparing everything that that person already has in the first language to learn the other, to make the translation. But that is not the same when you have, for example, when you are raised by two parents that that, for example, one of them is Colombian and the other one is Canadian, and each of them is giving you the input, sorry, from its language. You don't need to make translation from one to another because you are learning both at the same time. So that means that number two is, what is missing? Compound. That is the example I'm giving to you. So the first one, coordinate, number two, compound, and number three, subordinate. Okay, I hope with this model I have taken from the internet, it is clearer now. And finally, just for you to be aware of this or to remember this, we need to differentiate the two concepts that are bilinguality or bilingualism. In the case of bilinguality, I think it is pronounced like that, is the psychological state of an individual who has access to more than one linguistic code as a means of communication, social communication. But in the case of bilingualism, it refers to the state of a linguistic community in which two languages are in contact with the result that two codes can be used in the same interaction. So basically, although both refers like to the same topic in general, bilinguality, it focuses more on the individual perspective and bilingualism on the overall or society perspective. Okay, so to finish this part of the presentation that is bilingualism, let me show you some memes that can reflect some of the situations that a bilingual person may face in their lives. So we have when you are bilingual and you forget the words in both languages. Has it happened to you? Yeah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes like a lot, it happens to me, especially because I'm good at forgetting stuff. Always. Yeah. Then we have the another meme. People, what's your first language? Passive bilinguals have two options. Language I learned as a baby and I can't speak anymore, or language I learned in kindergarten and I speak fluently. Well, this is more related to people that are, for example, that go to another country and needs to learn the other language. I found this one very interesting. Let's continue. Me, struggling to remember a word. My brain comes up with a similar but uncommon word, but also meal. That feels weird, but I'll allow it. Okay, when we invent new words, but it works for us. So we can be creating a new language. Let's continue.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Now talking about multilingualism. Multilingualism is a complex phenomenon that can be studied from different perspectives in disciplines such as linguistics, psycholinguistics, sociolinguistics, and also education. There are many definitions of multilingualism. Can you please pass the slide? Okay. According to the European Commission, multilingualism is the ability of societies, institutions, groups, and individuals to engage on a regular basis with more than one language in their day-to-day lives. For Lee, multilingualism is anyone who can communicate in more than one language, being active through speaking and writing, or passive through listening and reading. And finally, to the Council of Europe, multilingualism, it refers to the presence of several languages in a given space independently of those who use it. Can you pass the slide? In other words, the coexistence of multiple languages in a society where people can speak one or many of those languages. For example, Russia and India are countries with the most official languages in the world. Did you know this? No? Okay, now you know it. So, Russia is the most multilingual country with more than 35 official languages and 100 non-recognized languages. Some of them are Russian, of course, Buryat, Taiwan, Ossetian, Kavardian, and others. And then we have India that has 23 official languages with more than 120 non-recognized languages. Some of them are Hindi, English, Nepali, Santhali, Tamil, and others. Can you, okay. Continuing with multilingualism, there are two kinds of it. On one hand, we have, yeah, Ivan, There are a lot of languages there. I continue with multilingualism. There are two kinds of it. On one hand, we have the maximum multilingualism. That is those speakers that are very fluent and proficient, that have more knowledge and control in one language as in the others. And on the other hand, we have the minimal multilingualism, that is the people who can communicate, but in not a fluent manner, and the knowledge of the language is very basic, and their communication skills are very basic too. This is most common in tourists. Can you pass, please? You may ask yourself, how do societies become multilingual, right? Well, there are many reasons. The more obvious factor leading to multilingualism is migration. When speakers of one language settle down in an area where some other languages is used, and over the years continue to maintain their language. This is the result. The result is multilingualism. A second reason is annexation, which is related to colonialism, as in many parts of Latin America, Asia, and Africa, where colonial languages such as Spanish, French, and especially English became entrenched and continue to play crucial roles long after the cessation of colonial rule. Another example can be Texas in the US. A third reason is globalization. Thanks to the commercial, scientific, and technological independence around the world, multilingualism paved the way for better communication and connection among different cultures. And last but not least, the cultural contact. The cultural contact. Wait. A society might find itself importing and assimilating the cultural institutions, for example, religion, literature, music, movies, etc., of another society, which over the years might result in multilingualism. Can you pass? Several factors have contributed to the current visibility of multilingualism. As I mentioned before, the reasons. Aronin and Singleton compared the features of historical and contemporary multilingualism and reported 7 distinctions. These distinctions can be clustered into 3 main areas. Okay, the first one is the geographical. In comparison with the past, multilingualism is not limited to geographically close languages or to specific border areas or trade routes. Now it is more a global phenomenon spread over different parts of the world. You as a Colombian can learn Korean, German, and Russian, for example. Now, social. Multilingualism is no longer associated with specific social strata or professions. Now it's increasingly spread across different social classes, professions, and also sociocultural activities. And finally, the medium area. In the past, multilingual communication was often limited to grammar, you know, the mail and that stuff. And those things were very slow. So nowadays, in the 21st century, thanks to the internet, multilingual communication is more multimodal and instantaneous. You can talk with people around the world very easily and very fast. Now, to finish with the part of multilingualism, I would like to share with you 2 important theories that are considered when we talk about multilingualism. The melting pot. theory is the first one. Have you heard this before? Do you have any idea of what this theory is about? What do you think? Yes, no? Okay. Ivan, I think your mic is not working. I see you open your mic, but we can't hear you. Okay, can someone help me to read this part? Thank you, Diego. So what do you think now that you read that? Yeah, kind of. Basically, the melting pot theory is the idea that different cultures and ideas will blend together and create one ultimate culture or idea. So, sorry. Yeah, it can be. The melting pot requires that immigrants assimilate in order to become one common culture. And because of this, the melting pot theory has become synonymous with the process of Americanization. So if you think about melting pot, it's related to Americanization.
Yes, I don't know if you have heard that New York City, I mean, specifically in the context of the United States, New York is considered to be the melting pot city. Why? All the country that today we know as the United States of America was founded by migrants. However, different racial issues and different other things have led that the country today in 2021 still see that only certain kind of people are the real Americans, while the others look like migrant or are migrant, no matter if they were born and lived there the whole life. So a melting pot really literally means that the United States, it's a big pot in which different kind of people or different kind of things come, and in order to survive in an American society, they have to merge and behave the same. Otherwise, they can suffer from discrimination. So, for example, there are in the United States, there exist some things that are called the newcomers schools. That means that if you happen to be a migrant and you have kids or teenagers, rather than enrolling them in regular public schools, they go to the special newcomers schools in which they divide them into racial groups and they teach them how to behave in American society so they can actually survive there. And consequence of that, we see people saying things like, we are in America, speak English, or if you see a person that looks like Asian or like South American, you get asked, oh, where are you from? And if you say, I'm from here, I'm from the United States. Yeah, but like for real, like really, where are you originally from? But those questions are asked to people that look physically different than white people. And white people also come from Europe places and they have certain ascendants in their heritage, but they never get asked, but originally, where do you come from? Because there's this belief that in order to be American, you need to be white and you need to speak like standard English. That's what a melting pot means, that in order to be accepted, you need to melt and adapt to the society.
Thank you, Professor. Okay, and then we have the salad bowl theory. Do you have any idea of what this theory is about? What do you think? Taking into account the first theory.
Maybe that they are like people all are in a group, but still they are capable to maintain their individuality, maybe.
Yes, Judy, can you help me to read this part, please?
All right.
Yeah.
So it maintains the unique identities of individuals that would otherwise be lost to assimilation, acknowledging the discrete identities and cultural differences of a multicultural society.
Okay, you were right, Judy. So the salad bowl theory basically calls for us to celebrate our diversity along with our owners. It's a metaphor for the way a multicultural society can integrate different cultures while maintaining their separate identities, contrasting with the melting pot theory.
Yes, it's a little bit like the opposite of the melting pot, and think a little bit about think about the British culture. I've never been to Britain. I've been to the United States lots of times, and I see how it works there. And I literally see the United States being the reflect of the melting pot. But I have heard from people that have actually lived in the United Kingdom that what you can see in the society is precisely the salad bowl theory. That means the United Kingdom is a place that has been traditionally the colonizer of the world, but also the receiver of lots of people that have settled there. So the thing is that it's a metaphor, because if you take a look at this picture of the salad, you see that we have beans and corn and tomatoes and lettuce and even chicken with a sauce and everything. So you can just put a bunch of yummy things in a pot and make a yummy salad. So in society, it looks like the container is the country or the geographical territory, and the ingredients are each people. So you see that in pretty much everywhere, being the United Kingdom not an exception, you see, well, British people, you also see other kind of European people that live there. There's a lot of Indian people, a lot of Pakistani people from China. So there are different kind of people that live there, but they don't necessarily have to change their language. They learn English, of course, because the United Kingdom works in English, but they can still speak their languages. They even dress with their cultural outfits. And there's no big, I mean, I understand that the racism and the different kind of segregation in the United Kingdom is different and is less than it happens in the United States. And there are no real evidence of people saying, you are in Great Britain, speak English. Not really, because the society is actually open to diversity and other kind of languages are well accepted. So that's the difference between those two theories, that in the bowl salad theory, each person is an individual element with different with individual differences that are valid to make a multilingual and plurilingual society more interesting, let's say. So they are kind of really open to people.
Yes, thank you, Professor. Now I want to share with you some memes too, as Sylvia did. So speaks for languages. Sometimes I'm sure if the word I'm using actually exists in the language I'm speaking. Had this happened to you?
Yes.
Okay, the next one. Yes, even in Spanish. Yeah, that's true, Michael. Being multilingual, expectation. Which language to read good in next? Reality. I am dumb in 3 languages.
That seems like my reality.
Is this true for you guys?
Very
Yeah,
true.
sometimes.
When I say that I speak Chinese, but I cannot say hello.
Okay, guys, thank you for your attention. Now I will leave you with Lisette.
Thank you so much, Laura. Okay, so I think we all have experienced that, right? It feels like whenever we're about to show off what we know, everything goes blocked. Okay, so now we're gonna talk about plurilingualism. And first of all, I would like to hear you guys. I would like to know if you have any perspective or any point of view, anything to say about plurilingualism. What do you think it is? After we have heard our classmates talking about bilingualism, sorry, and multilingualism, what do you guys think plurilingualism stands for? Anybody? Just maybe just one person or two. No, you guys really shy today. Okay, so let's talk about plurilingualism a little bit.
Lisa?
Yeah?
Michael is raising the hand.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I couldn't see here. So yeah, Michael.
It's okay. I just wanted to say that I think it's more on the sociocultural side, like genuine interest in understanding and being in touch with the cultures that not only coexist, but somehow they are related to each other.
Yes, thank you so much. That is a great definition. So as we can see here, we find that plurilingualism is the ability of a person who has competence in more than one language to switch between multiple languages depending on the situation for ease of communication. But it goes beyond, it goes farther than that, because plurilingualism goes hand by hand with culture, as Michael just said. So we can say that theoretically, plurilingualism originated in Europe, and it was like a policy oriented by the European Union to promote the language education to improve the mobility between the countries and the integration of the whole continent. So this kind of improve what we have just said, like people from different countries traveling around all of Europe. And if you pay attention to them, there are English people that also speak Italian, that also speak French, that also speak Spanish, or Italian people that speak Portuguese and Spanish and English. So European people are very much into plurilingualism. And it was initially defined like plurilingualism and multilingualism was defined were defined as different concepts. Plurilingualism was defined as the individual characteristic of people, as an individual characteristic of people, and multilingualism as a societal phenomenon. So we can say that the European Union is multilingual as a supranational body, but citizens are plurilingual. Okay, so
guys, sorry, one little thing. Right now I'll have to leave, so I don't know if I actually end the conversation, because as far as I know, I need to click on leave, but I don't see that option. Do you know what should I do? Because I'm afraid that if I click on end, I might end the meeting, and that's what I don't want to do.
Professor, and what if you make somebody else the host?
Yes, okay, give me 1 sec. Well, you can continue meanwhile, don't worry.
Okay, so we can experience that through a video that we have here. These are little kids from a school in in the the United States now, in London. So we can experience how many different races and different languages and different cultures we can see here in this video, and how do they get along with it, and how do they express themselves about being plurilingual. So we can you guys can tell me if you can hear the video, okay?
Hello, I'm Lucian and I'm age 7 in year 3.
My name is Gabby and I'm 6.
I'm Mr. Morley, I'm 32 years old and I'm the MFL leader at Wright Primary School. Except I'm not 32, I'm 31.
If you can introduce yourselves with your names and your age, please.
You start.
I can speak Portuguese and Spanish and English.
At home I speak a language called Amharic because I'm Ethiopian.
I speak Spanish and a bit of French.
Irish.
English.
German. Arabic. Portuguese. Czech. Chinese. Swedish.
And maybe a little bit of gibberish.
የንስም ማህደር ነው ሰላም እና 10 ዓመቴ ነው እና አሁን ማውራት የምችለው እንግሊዝኛ French and Spanish. I got quite a lot to say. My favourite word is war because it means I, and it doesn't sound like I because it has 2 letters when you do pinyin. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Muchas gracias. Me gusta mi manos. If you're hungry, you say ya sam hlat. Manos. Manos, sí, estos manos.
I would like to speak probably Spanish because Spanish is known halfway around the world, and it's the most spoken language in different countries around the world, so I'd like to learn Spanish.
I would like to learn Arabic because our neighbours speak a lot of Arabic and I wonder what they're saying sometimes.
I teach in Spanish and sometimes we play Spanish games after. Sometimes we do the piña dance and piña means pineapple.
Pina, pina, pina.
Being from Ireland, I studied Irish at school until I was 16, but unfortunately I am nowhere near fluent. And I would love to be able to go home and go to the Gaeltacht and be able to order a pint in Irish.
All the languages are extremely useful because on the summer holidays I visit new countries and English isn't the most important language because we all have different opinions on what the most important language is.
Having worked in London for so many years, it was heartbreaking that some children never cross the River Thames, never mind leave the country or speak another language. So for me, for children to understand another language, a culture, to gain experience, to have teachers that are passionate about teaching those languages as well, really opens those eyes and really opens those opportunities for children that they may not think are necessarily available to them.
And that's the end.
Hello.
Okay, so what did you guys think? It is so awesome to see how these kids embrace their own culture, how they enjoy sharing their culture, and as well living among people that have different culture than theirs. So we can see here how plurilingualism works. So the main idea is validating people's linguistics in cultural repertoire, but also teaching them the targeted language. Like, for example, kids that were from Ethiopia or kids that were from Latin America, they had this different native language and they didn't lose their own culture, but they were targeting a new language that was English in this case. So for this situation, they had to think about plurilingual education. You see, because in Europe, there are not only Europe people, but also Asian people, Latino people, people from different cultures, different countries, and they all were sharing the same space. So the European Union had to come out with a form of educating all of these people at the same time. So in this case was when the CLIL approach started to function. So we all know what CLIL means. And the thing is that, you know, it consists of teaching the language through content. So students might be seeing biology, but in the targeted language, or students might be seeing history or maths in the targeted language. So they had daily experience with the daily basis situation, you know? So in this case, they had this approach coming out and functioning, and also the plurilingual awareness of projects. The plurilingual awareness of projects, it has like three main statements. First, to see how students could use their mother tongues and the foreign languages they have learned at school in each task. Second, comparing how comparing similar tests in different languages might foster an advanced language with regard to the tasks. And finally, how to demonstrate the potential of students' language awareness when working with languages. So in this case, this approach also worked for plurilingual education. And we can find here some activities these people stood for educating plurilingual people. For example, in the first activity, you can see change the verbs into nouns. So verbs in English, changing them into nouns. Also in English, read lyrics of love songs or songs in general. So, and then asking them what kind of metaphors and images are used to express emotions after reading the lyrics of the songs. Then working in couples to examine a blog that they find interesting, and then making out some questions to make them think and have comprehension on what they have just read or seen in the blog, and examining our newspaper, things that are like daily activities that we do, but applied to the targeted language, that in this case would be English, but like having respect, or also like having room for their own languages and cultures. Okay, I don't know what happened with my memes. Let me see. I had some memes, here they are. So here we find some memes that represent how plurilingual people feel, like in the first one, my American friend correcting my your to your in the spelling thing, me being fluent in 4 languages. This happens so much because native speakers can say from any language, native speakers will also feel like empowered whenever they are faced to somebody that is like a second language speaker or a foreign language speaker. So we feel empowered and we feel like we can correct them anytime. But the thing is that they speak, or we speak more languages than the other person that is correcting us. So it is kind of, forgive me for this word, but I must say kind of stupid, because we shouldn't feel this prepotencia, I'm gonna say it in Spanish, this prepotencia towards the other people, you know, like something happened to me when I had the experience of working in the United States, and once a person told me, oh, your accent is so thick, and was a little bit rude in the way he said that. And I thought to myself, like, yeah, my accent is really thick, but the thing is that I can speak 2 languages and you don't. But I didn't say that because I'm not rude. I'm not a rude person. So the thing is that this happens very often. Let's see the next one. I'm not sure if I should pronounce foreign words correctly and sound pretentious, or pronounce them wrong and sound ignorant. Have you guys experienced that? Yeah or no? Everybody pronounce things in their original form? No? Like, for example, when you Michael says nope. Like, for example, when we're with a group of people that speaks our native language and doesn't have like a second language or a foreign language, and we are the only one that are bilingual or plulingual there. So there is like a brand of clothing, and we think twice if we should pronounce it in the correct pronunciation of the language, or if we can't, or if we pronounce it in our native pronunciation. That happens to me a lot with my friends. Karen, can you talk? Do you want to talk? Sorry, I can't see who raised.
Yes, this is, you
So sorry.
remind me of because before I used to have a mail account with with a particle that says live, like instead of Hotmail, it was live, and I didn't know how to say this live or live, because people at the beginning didn't understand the live. Was like, what? And some people I said live, and they say, oh, live, and I felt stupid. I know English, and I was saying live, sorry, live. I know, that's too complicated.
Oh, yes. That is so awkward. That is awkward. I once I worked for a furniture company, and we had these catalogs of fabrics that we could use on the furniture, and every time I had to send tenía que hacer un pedido acerca de un mueble o algo así, so I would communicate to my fellow partners, I need the fabric from the diamond catalog, and the catalog was called Diamond, like that, Diamond, and they were like, what? Yeah, the Diamond catalog. No, we don't have a Diamond catalog. Yes. And I was like, oh, okay, Diamond catalog, because they couldn't understand, and I felt a little bit embarrassed. And that's the thing. Sometimes people make us feel embarrassed because we pronounce things differently and we sound pretentious to them. But the thing is that sometimes we just can't handle it, right? It's just what we are, and it's just how we work. Okay, you guys, so this is the end of the Prulingualism presentation. Now, to finish, we have an activity. Here we have the concepts, like the differences, bilingualism, the ability to speak 2 languages, proficiency, multilingualism, the coexistence of several languages in a society where not everyone necessarily speak all of those languages, and plurilingualism, the capacity and competence to learn more than 1 language, as well as the value of linguistic tolerance within individuals and countries. Okay, so now this is the activity. The activity is to create a meme that reflects any situation a bilingual, multilingual, and plurilingual person may face. So feel free to be creative, feel free to be open-minded. So we will give you, I don't know how much time, Sylvia?
How much time do you well, my classmates think they need. Do you know how to create memes? You can put on Google meme creator, and there are many options that you can use already, the templates, and you only put like the situation depending on the on the template you want to use.
You can work
I
in
don't know.
groups if you want to.
I think 5 minutes it's okay, or is
Yeah, 5 minutes and then we socialize. Socializate, sorry. Yeah, okay. So 5 minutes.
so dear Professor Michael, are you there? Michaeline.
My God.
Michael is writing on the chat.
Can you open the breakout rooms? Randomly, like randomly. I think if we are 19, 18, now people start leaving. 18. You can create 3 breakout rooms. Michael.
He's trying to do it.
It would be like a 5 or 6 people group. Is it okay?
Yes, and remember to let us out.
Ah, okay, I think they are ready. Let's see.
Okay, guys, you're gonna have 5 minutes. We're gonna be back on 11:25 and we'll socialize our memes, okay?
Hola.
Hello.
Hi.
Hola.
Nos toca hacer, ¿qué? Como el meme o algo así, nos toca hacer otra cosa.
Sí, un meme.
Ok, ok. ¿Alguno sabe cómo? Soy malísimo para esas cosas.
Una pregunta, o sea, ¿es un solo meme por grupo o...?
Creo que sí.
Ah, ok.
Pues yo estaba pensando en una situación, no sé si a ustedes les ha pasado, me pasó la semana pasada y sentí que fue rarísimo, que yo sé qué estoy diciendo, pero no sé en qué idioma lo estoy diciendo. Justamente me pasó en la primera parte de la exposición la semana pasada, no sabía si yo estaba hablando en español o en inglés y tuve que preguntar. Rarísimo.
Sí, pues a mí la verdad nunca me ha pasado algo como eso.
Sí, yo tampoco he llegado a ese nivel.
No, ya está muy pro.
No, más que pro, yo creo que es como ser despistado. Pero sí, sí fue raro.
¿A ustedes no les ha pasado que de pronto como que intentan aprender palabras random de otro idioma o incluso como palabras nuevas en inglés y de repente le van a decir a alguien como que, ay, aprendí tal cosa y de repente se les olvida?
Sí, 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 me ha pasado. Y uno se queda como, bueno, ¿y ahora qué?
En blanco.
Sí,
Ah, sí, me gusta, me gusta.
o el simplemente no encontrar las palabras también me pasa muy seguido. Entonces se generan como unos silencios estos incómodos.
Yo creo que podemos utilizar el ejemplo que dijo Yuri.
Sí,
Pues yo ya lo estaba haciendo porque creí que era individual, entonces creo que ya
Ah,
lo tengo hecho. Voy a compartir pantalla. Pues no sé ustedes qué piensan. Si así o otra plantilla. Miren, acá hay como muchas diferentes plantillas de memes.
Yo también hice uno, pero esperen, ya lo comparto.
Ah, bueno, listo.
Tengo que abrirlo aquí en el computador.
to share?
Recording in progress.
Who wants to share the meme? No one?
I can do it. It's not that funny, but
We are shy.
So, okay, Karen. Let's see your memes group.
okay. So when you know what you want to say, but can't remember the word in any language. I don't know if that happened to you, but I want to say something, and then I try to remember the word, even in English, to translate it to Spanish, and I can't. So I ended up saying like, "Ash, you know what I'm saying," and that's it, because I can't remember the word. So yeah, I put that as my face.
Excellent reference. Excellent.
And relate.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karen.
Okay.
Okay, who wants to share?
I want to.
Okay, go on.
Okay, let me. This happens to me all the time. I don't know. Can you see now? I don't know if you can see.
Yeah.
Well, usually I'm learning like a new language, so this is the one that I'm currently learning. But then I see a video of someone speaking another language, and then I want to learn that one. So I stop the one that I was previously learning, and I start to learn the new one. I don't know if it happens to you.
Yeah.
Yes. And you end
All
up
the
being
time.
trilingual, but all of the languages you know are like the basic stuff because you don't continue like learning the previous languages.
Yes, you kind of get with the basics, and then you try to speak it to show off, and then you can't.
And then you just end up saying like hello and I'm good and stuff, like simple stuff. But people think you're bilingual.
Okay, there's one group missing. Thank you, Julian.
So this is when we're learning new words or something, but then at the moment of sharing with our friends, we just forgot the words.
It's really good. It's actually really good. That happens a lot.
That was funny. Thank you guys for your participation and your attention. That was all for our presentation. I hope you like it. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't forget, if you have any questions, you can write to the professor. Okay.
Thank you, girls.
Okay, thank you so much, guys, for coming. I think, I don't know, we can end up
Can
here.
leave.
Yeah.
We can leave here.
Yes,
Okay.
Michael. Please, Michael. Close the session.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank
Goodbye,
you.
everyone. Take care.